Hi, I'm Sarah Wilder, and this is part 23G of Surviving the Man I Married. And the only reason I could remember that's what letter we were on is because I'm a granny. I'm Granny Poppins, and that starts with a G. Thank you for being here. So, the event, my poisoning, happened in June of 2022. 4 months later, I got the GRAMA report, spelled GRAMA, all caps. It's an acronym for the 911 dispatch call transcript. So I have this report. It's October. A lot of it I can read because Jim was a cop for 27 years and I learned a few things. So I have this report. I have an experience that I'll tell you about with the local fire chief that really pissed me off. So I have this report. I go down to the police department. I meet briefly with a domestic violence detective, and we're going to get into these episodes later. Okay, I'm just going to scrape over these really quickly. In mid-October, I meet with her. I have this GRAMA report. She and I are going to meet up again in several weeks. She wants to do some investigating. So we meet, I get her card, I send her a whole bunch of everything I have. And then that's it until November. In the meantime, I go talk to, it's right across the parking lot from the police station. I go immediately leave and go over and see the American Fork Fire Department chief. He's in. It's early afternoon. He's there, and I sit down, and he's so nice. He sits with me and talks with me. We talk about that day, and I ask him to help me with the GRAMA report. And we're going through the movements of all the vehicles. He's telling me what his department has done on that GRAMA report. And we get to the bottom, and I point to the part where the vehicles leave. And I said, "Now, what does that code mean?" He goes, "Oh, that's where they come back to the station." I said, "So that's when they leave my house?" He goes, "No, that's when they returned back to the station." I go, "Really?" I go, "That's interesting. Okay." And he tells me it's a ladder truck. That code is the ladder truck. So I'm like, "Okay, I know it's not right," but I say, "Okay." And then I ask him about what Jim had said about the fire truck leaving equipment, departing the house. I said, "Where is that on this GRAMA report? I don't really see it." He goes, "It's not on here." And he goes, "And also, it doesn't happen. Never." He said, "In his whole time as chief and his time as a fireman, he's not heard of leaving equipment, going back and getting it." He said, that has not happened here on the GRAMA report." He goes, "And that hasn't happened here with this firehouse." I go, "Okay." So that was interesting. His replies were interesting. Very nice of him to take the time and speak to me. But what he didn't know is I had already called into his department before even going to see him and talk to someone at the front desk and had them take me line by line the questions that I asked, things I didn't know. And the person at the desk was terrific and explained everything to me. So I already knew that the ladder truck had been in my house for like 41 minutes and the cops had been there for 37. I could have those two reversed, but I don't think I do. I think it's right. So I leave the fire chief alone. I go about my day, looking forward to my day the next time the law enforcement officer investigating the incident lets me know it's time for us to talk face to face. I'm kind of living for that. Okay, so the next experience I'm going to tell you about is with the Utah County District Attorney. So I'm going to give you a couple spoilers here because I'm terrible like that. I read my books starting with the last chapter, the last two chapters first. I read magazines that way. I even watched some TV series from the last season down to the first. It's not normal. I will tell you, I was a breech baby. I was born butt first, and so that might have a lot to do with it. Okay, so this next experience was the Utah County District Attorney. I told you I went to the policewoman in the second week of October, and the same day I went to the fire chief. She and I met in November. She filed a case in December with the DA's office and wanted it screened for charges. She wanted charges brought against Jim, wanted him arrested and prosecuted for attempted murder. She did. And the DA at that time, at the end of 2022, wanted that as well. And the three of us were working on it. And then the case just kind of died. It died. And I wanted to know why. And so the new DA, brand new DA, started out, I would say, within a month of the cop turning my case in, a brand newly elected DA started. And he was a nightmare. And I made an appointment to see him in person the first week of February. And I wanted to know why he had killed my case. Why did he bury it? And I step into his office, and I thought it'd be the two of us. No, he has a social worker there, and he has another attorney there, and I'm by myself. But you know what I do have with me? my cell phone, and my cell phone's turned on and it is recording. I did not disclose it. In Utah, you don't have to. I recorded the whole thing. We're standing up, we're face to face. Ms. Johnson, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but I don't intend to ever pursue charges against your ex-husband. And I'll tell you why. Because I honestly think that you have just terribly misunderstood a simple marital disagreement. That's what I think has happened. It's a terrible misunderstanding and it's unfortunate. And I'm sorry for what you've been through, but there's been no crime committed, none. So I spent the next 45 minutes telling him all the shit Jim has done to me. And each time I got to something awful, I'd say, does that sound like a disagreement to you? I mean, I don't know. Was the first EpiPen the agreement because it was real, and the second EpiPen was the disagreement I misunderstood because it was fake and a practice EpiPen? Even though really for 9 years we'd used EpiPens on me, and for 27 years he had them in his emergency bag, his cop bag. So that was not a great meeting. That was not a great time for me. 6 days after that was a great time for me, because 6 days after that, Jim got served with a temporary restraining order. And that's a whole other story. Those are whole other stories, and those are coming down the road. But I want to just shout out and say one more thing real quick. Ladies, please, please don't accept explanations from public officials at face value. You're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to seek clarity and get things in writing if you need to. Get it in writing or audio record, because that grandma report helped me out. The domestic violence cop, when I meet her in November, she does agree with me. She says, yes, the report says what you think it says. The cops left, then the ladder truck left. They were there a very long time. And I'll tell you a lot more about that later. But check your local law where you live before you audio record. That's really important. Ladies, learn your rights and wear them out. Thank you. I'll see you back here. The next one will be part 24. So this concludes part 23. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lasting. It's been a marathon.